So today we're here with Lavonne Carroll and Gary Boudreau, and we have all kinds of things to talk about. First of all, Lavonne, you have ties here.
Yes, I do.
So could you tell the audience who you are?
My name is Lavonne Carroll. My dad was Ralph Sampson, and my mother was Lydia Benet, and my grandfather was Morton Benet, and Cecilia was my grandmother, Cecilia Boudreau.
So you have a lot of ties here.
We have a lot of ties. We've been down here forever and ever. Plus the Smiths also were
Right.
relatives of ours, and yeah, we go way back to like 1790 something. They all came over. A lot of them came from on my grandfather's side from Jersey and Guernsey Islands.
I would be familiar with that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, the Bernos came over at that time too.
Exactly.
So
You're into a lot of things,
I am.
but to get started, I need to know about Mambeck.
Okay. So Mambeck is an acronym. So it stands for Martial Art Mind Body Education Center, and it was incorporated in 2003. And we've been in Cole Harbour Place facility in Dartmouth since that time.
Wow.
And we've built the business. It's quite a well-established business at this time.
So explain to me how it works.
So Mambec, we do different programs. We have now we have an after-school program, and then we have the weekend evening program, which is just the martial art program. And the martial arts is for children. It's a life skill program with a martial art connection. We also do camps, okay, because Cole Harbour Place facility is a great place for children. And we do in-service day camps as well. So we're busy year-round. So the Mambec program is inserted into all of the programs that we do, including camps and the after-school, and it's included in the price. So the program itself is a holistic program, and it's all focused on bullying. So every hour, I should say, of the Mambec program is broken down into four components. The first component is the yoga for kids with stretching, and then we go into the second component, and that is the technical, and that's all the body mechanics of the martial arts. So the stances and punching, kicking, kata, all included in the second component. Then the third component is the life skills, and that's where our books come in,
Right.
okay? And the life skills are taught. For example, starting out, we would teach the children the ABCs of conflict avoidance. So A stands for avoid a potentially difficult situation. B is for be calm and breathe. C is communicate with confidence. D is don't make the situation worse by arguing and fighting. And so each one of those lessons has a story to go along with it. So that's how we do the life skills. And then the fourth component is the game or the skills drill that reinforces the technical. So you're actually getting more technical than because the beginning with the yoga and stretching is also in with the technical. So that's every hour of the Mambec program, and it's broken down into 12 weeks. Now, at one time before COVID, we used to have the parents come in on the floor, and we would do a parent day with them, so they could see what the children learned during the 10 weeks of information that we delivered. And on the 12th week, we'd have the belt advancement, where the children got their new belts. So because this is not a traditional martial art, the belting system is different. So the belts are on a background of white with a colored stripe, and then they go from that to a colored background with a white stripe. And to go along, because of the life skills, we have a badging system. Now we're adding a book system. So it's really going to make it really a holistic program for children. There's no sparring, there's no weapons training, and there is no tournaments.
I find that this whole concept is such an important life lesson for any child.
It's an excellent program to put your child in because they will grow with the program.
It's well-rounded. It's
It
very,
is.
very nicely laid out.
Yes.
So now, Jay's Bad Day
Yes.
is a part of that book system.
Yes, and it is actually one of the first curriculums that the children will do. The one before that is called Jay's Red Toolbox, which is really interesting too. But I like Jay's Bad Day because it teaches so many things, and I wanted to get the pandemic. Because children don't understand what a pandemic is. I wanted to get that in with this. It's actually a safety tale. So and these are all lessons that go along with this book. And so each lesson has a moral to the lesson, right? Mm-hmm. So the pandemic is really telling the children what a pandemic is without scaring them. And each lesson we try and do the same thing. We don't want to scare the children, but we want them to be aware of when they're in danger because children don't understand that. They'll walk into a situation and they're very blinded. I also talk about the freeze, fight, and flight, which is really important because if you freeze with fear, there's nothing you can do to get out of a dangerous situation. So we talk about that so that they'll understand that there's things that they can do so that they can keep their mind working, even though they are very afraid.
This is a fantastic program.
It is a fantastic.
I wish your program was in every community.
Well, so do I.
In every school.
But that's also the reason why the books are coming out.
Right.
Because I'm starting to release the curriculum.
Yeah.
Before COVID, I didn't really have to do that because everything was in-house. But today, everything is changing.
Mm-hmm. So
the world is changing.
With that being said, you're very lucky to have good friends close by.
Well, I am.
And take it to Gary here, who happens to be one of my favorite artists of all time.
Well, he's mine too.
Well, yes. And he's done all the illustrations.
He has. I was so excited when I met Gary. I met Gary online, and I got Gary to draw my mother's homestead.
Wow.
So I was very excited to get that, and then I thought, gee, I wonder.
So, Gary, I have to ask you, when Lavonne first asked you to do this, were you like, did you speculate that it would be hard to do, easy to do, or something that was kind of out of the norm for you?
I've never been afraid of new things, so I was a little bit intimidated by it, but I got over that quickly and thought, everybody's got to give it a try, so if you don't try, you don't know.
That's right. Now, Jay, did he come out of your head?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you brought a character to life. So something that you were writing about in your mind hopped out of the page. Like, what kind of moment was that when you saw that for the first time?
Well, I knew right away it was Jay.
Well, how?
I knew
Wow.
because that's how I had. When you're writing something, you have to envision
Right.
what you're writing, and that's kind of the guy that I envisioned. I just loved him, and so I told Gary that it was imaginary conception. So Jay is our
yes.
creation.
And so I guess you're writing a series of these, though.
Yes,
so
we are,
Gary,
yes.
you have a lot of drawing to do, a lot of sketching, a lot of ideas.
I do, but it's a good thing.
Well, listen, if I were writing a book, you would be the illustrator I would choose. So congratulations.
Well, thank you. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, I think that everybody will want a Gary Boudreau original.
Well, I have one. I keep it close by. It's one of my favorite things in the world. So anybody that knows Gary, I've known Gary for a long time, but anybody that knows him knows what a talented artist he actually is.
Yeah.
And it's not just one kind of painting or drawing either.
Well, I got to say something else too about the when you're doing illustrations for a children's book, especially, you have to be able to communicate with the audience that's very young. Okay, so you have to show emotion. So with Gary, I found that you could see the emotion in the eyes and the different movements, and I was really impressed with that because when you're doing any kind of a technical book, it's very difficult. Usually in the martial arts, they use stick people, okay? Because you can't move people,
Right.
you know?
I get it.
But Gary is able to move people,
Well, I don't doubt that.
okay?
I don't doubt that at all.
And he's able to show expression.
Well, Gary is actually a very soft-hearted person. I mean, I'm going to put it out there for all the audience to know. I've known Gary for a long time, and he's just one of those caring individuals. So if you care about something, of course you're going to automatically have emotion.
Yeah.
I think that it definitely shows in the illustrations.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
Well, we
If you're
have.
going to do something, you have to do it the best of your ability.
That's
right?
right. I think this whole union is a great idea.
Well, you know, it's a funny thing because I thought there's no way that he's going to even consider this because I'm, you know, I just didn't think, you know, I mean, the house was one thing, but doing illustrations is another thing. So I was I was overwhelmed. I was shocked.
Well,
actually.
he also likes a challenge. Is that correct?
I do.
Yeah. He challenge himself.
Well, he's got a challenge now because
I think he'll rise to the challenge. I think he'll be okay.
he's got a lot to do.
I look forward to seeing every one of them.
Well,
I do.
they will. Well, the little red, not the little red tool, the red toolbox is really interesting because it is an introduction to a child in martial art form. Okay, so how I did that was I thought, you know, my father used to get really mad when anybody got into his red toolbox. Okay, so I thought, you know, if we had a red toolbox, it would have to be really well looked after. So what I did is I talked about the different technique with the hands, the foot, the leg. So each drawer carries a different part of your body, and they're all your personal weapons. So, and the big book, of course, is on the top, and that gives you the direction. And so the children learn the body mechanics of the martial arts in that first book. So that will be coming out very soon.
Well, I also see that you guys do all kinds of things.
We certainly do.
You do birthday parties.
We do birthday parties. As a matter of fact, now that's a new thing. So now we're going to change that advertisement to Jay because Jay now is going to become like the face of the business. Okay,
yeah.
so we're gonna change that all around now. But we do birthday parties up to 10 children, and the birthday child gets a certificate and a T-shirt, and it's great advertisement, Becky. That's mostly what we're doing it for, is to bring the children.
That's the right thing to do. So
Yeah.
I would assume that, for example, if I was living in HRM,
Yes.
and I wanted to buy, or even if I'm not, and my grandchildren live in HRM,
Yes.
I could potentially buy them a party of some sort, or even a membership of some
Yes.
sort, or to enroll them in the course.
Yeah.
What a great Christmas present.
Well, listen, talking about Christmas presents, I do a Christmas special.
Perfect.
And that is with a uniform and 3 months, and it's packaged for under your tree with a January start date.
Wow.
So, I've done that for years, you know, but I mean that, and I sell a lot of Christmas specials because, you know, September is a big time of the year because school's starting, although this year it was a little bit different. Because of COVID. We've had quite a lot of changes because of COVID, and actually that's why, you know, we're getting into the books and stuff like that. But Christmas is another big time. So the way I look at it, you know, to give a gift that keeps on giving is the greatest thing you can do for your child. And they'll have 3 months after Christmas to enjoy the program.
The other thing about that too, I mean, you know, everything changed with COVID,
Yes.
but a lot of new ideas.
Absolutely.
Fantastic new ideas. I think this
Absolutely.
is a fantastic new
Yep.
idea. These things might not have been born so quickly. They might have come at some point,
Yeah.
but they may not have been born so quickly if it hadn't been for COVID.
Well, the other thing too is that once the books are done, I'm looking at going into TV.
Perfect.
And taking the books and taking it to the airways, because I think that people can really enjoy watching and can learn. You know, if they can put cartoons on TV, you know, they certainly can put something like this on TV, and we'll develop the character enough that people will know the character.
I think it would make a great television series.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
And what an important
Yep.
an important it's actually a really important service.
It certainly is. And you know, I'll tell you, so we also do after-school program. And you know, the funny thing is that I have a lot of teachers and principals that bring their children into the program because they know the value of the life skills. Now, if a child starts out at age 4 and starts learning these life skills, by the time they're 7, okay, they're like little sponges anyway. They've absorbed all the knowledge that they need, and they know, you know, they have something to refer to if they get into a situation, because a lot of times children don't even know they're being bullied.
Right, I know.
Okay, it's very sad. It's very sad.
The other part of that too, Lavonne, is that, you know, you're starting with yoga, which is a very calming, you know,
Exactly.
make you thinking about,
Yeah.
you're kind of thinking about what you're doing as
Yeah.
a child, right? I mean, as any, even adults,
Yeah.
that's why they do yoga, I think. But the importance of teaching them when to punch her, you know, like not to do it in anger, but to do it maybe in self-defense of some sort.
if you look in the
You know,
book,
that's what it's about, right?
if you go into the book and you look at the pictures, okay,
Right.
everything is based on defense.
Right.
So you've got a
Yeah.
swing push. So if somebody's coming at you and kids push one another.
I know they do.
Okay, so what you do is you're using your weight.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a defensive skill.
Yeah.
If somebody grabs you by the arm, well, all you're going to do is you're going to loosen it because your thumb, all your joints are the weakest parts.
Right.
Okay, so you spring it off. You know, then you look at the kick and spin. They lay on the ground just like a cat. You know, do you ever try and pick up a cat?
Oh, yes.
When the cat's on its back?
Oh, yes.
Well, the only difference is that we have arms that we can move around.
Yeah.
Now, you can kick, and you can kick that, and they can holler at the same time
Yeah.
if somebody's trying to grab them.
Right.
You know, and then you have, I call it Houdini, where you grab the child around the, and I've had to do this with my own, grab them, and they slip out. Well, now we teach them how to do that because they can get away.
So important.
Yeah,
With all of the cruel things that are happening in this world, so important for these kids,
You know,
to
they-
feel empowered enough to do it.
personal space handout.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and I've taught this since I began. So the personal space handout. If somebody comes into your personal space,
Yeah.
you know, and I have a game. It's called the force. Okay, so they all line up and they come up, and you put your hand out, and that's as far as you go. And then your circle of defense is your hand out, your foot out, all the way around in a circle. Okay, Bruce Lee made that very, very popular back in the day because that's the most area that you'll have to defend yourself. And inside of the circle of defense is all your personal weapons. So you've got your elbows, and that's all in the little red toolbox too. So it's, everything kind of builds, okay, and it's reinforced in every book as they go through.
So Gary, when she is asking, when Lavonne is asking you to draw something, especially martial arts related,
It's very difficult.
if you've never been in martial arts, how do you get around that?
Well, there's a lot of trial and error because there's a lot of times that I've done drawings and sent them to Lavonne and they're just not right.
Right. Well,
So you have to accept the fact that I know nothing about this.
Right.
But the
And
one
she's
thing,
the expert, right?
But, no, but the one thing that you got to realize is that martial arts, everything is center. Okay, so and you know, your everything is center. So no matter what you do, it all comes back to the center point. Okay, so once you look at the body in that way, okay, and you're drawing, then it's altogether different. There is a stability.
Right. Right.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
so once you understand that, then you can see how the movement, you know, I mean, it's just like an animal.
So Gary didn't have to take martial arts as well.
No, he doesn't
God,
have to
no.
say, he can do all of this,
I'm sure he can.
you know, because anybody that reads the book can do it.
Yeah. Well, I'll
Including
be reading
you-
the book. I
including
will be
you,
reading the
Becky.
book. I will be reading the book. I will probably, you know, I'm going to look a little further into your program actually,
I'd
because
love-
I do have grandchildren,
Yes,
and they are in that age group,
awesome.
and I think that would be a really important life lesson for them.
Well,
Actually, I think it'd be great for them.
I think you would see a difference in your children, and that's one of the things.
Yeah.
And I have a great look. If you go on my website, you'll see there's a testimonial area.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, we got to get some testimonials. I have instructors that have taught this book. Okay,
Right, right.
over the 10 years.
Cool.
Yeah, so I mean, they just love Jay's Bad Day when they know they're doing Jay. they get all
So
excited.
now your instructors, have they seen?
Oh no, nobody.
Oh,
no,
wow.
oh no.
They're
I've
going to just
showed-
love it. They're going to love
I
it.
have showed no. So starting on Monday, Jay's Bad Day is going to be taught, because of course we're selling it.
Right,
Hopefully we'll get it together by Christmas and we'll sell it at Christmas.
Well, you can, hey, listen, anything we can do for you at Tellil, by all means.
Listen, I'll take advantage of that. I'll
Anything we
I'll
can
just
do
have
for
to
you.
think.
Anything we can do for you here.
I'll think.
Anything we can do for you here.
Yeah,
You know, you're a hometown girl.
I know.
And
I
Gary
know.
is definitely a hometown guy.
I know. Someday I'm coming back.
We all do.
Someday I'm coming back.
We all do.
Well, listen, all my grandparents. Well, look at the St. John's.
Well, I know.
Remember when I was in the graveyard for 6 months, researching all the people in the graveyard.
It's interesting.
I found out a whole lot about
Oh,
it too.
boy.
Yep.
I'll have to have a talk with you some other time.
Well, you sent me that book,
Oh, I did.
and that's what started me. Then I got into the graveyard. I couldn't get out.
You know, that doesn't sound good, right?
Well, listen, we all have passion, right, for something.
Oh, I love it. I love genealogy.
Well, you know, I just really want this to take off for you.
Oh, me too.
I really want it to take off for
For
and I'm
both
so
of us.
happy that you have Gary.
I know.
Because Gary, you know, Gary's so talented.
I know.
His talent should be shared
I know.
in any way it can be.
I know.
You know, always felt that. So, you know, I've had musical experiences with Gary too that are
Yes.
fantastic. He's a very talented
Well,
person.
I think everybody should have a Gary Boudreau original.
I believe you're right.
You know.
I do.
Now you realize I have to pay you both, right?
No, this is free advertising.
This is
here.
free.
This is for you.
All for you, Gary.
It's all good.
So, is there anything else you need to tell me?
Well, listen, you can ask me anything
Okay,
you
so
want.
when do you plan to have this?
Okay, so the thing is that it has to go to typeset.
Understand.
This is not.
No, I understand. I
Okay.
understand. Yeah.
We are going to be donating $1 per book to either UNICEF or Save the Children. I don't know yet. That's got to go on. We've got our numbers, our USBN, ISBN, what's it called?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, and we've got the barcodes. It's going to be typeset, hopefully, if Gary gets up next weekend. We're going to go up to get it typeset. Then it will be printed. And I already have all kinds of orders. If anybody wants an order, they can contact Gary or myself. Gary?
Oh, just via Facebook.
Via Facebook would be great. And we have the Mambec is on Facebook as well. We have 2 sites. We also have the website, www.mambec.com.
Pretty organized.
You have to be. Jeez. Well, COVID almost killed me.
Well, I think you kind of came out very much alive.
COVID
Lavonne.
almost killed me. Yeah, well, we were, when they shut down,
Oh, yeah?
they shut down the day before March break camp.
No.
Okay, now you don't have to shut down the day before March break camp. I had 40 kids registered.
Yeah.
And then I had the after-school program. Everybody paid me. Or I sent out the invoices. They didn't pay. The invoices were sent out on the 15th. Then I had the summer camp. So all that money was supposed to be coming in, but nothing came in because they shut us down.
Yeah, we're going to come back stronger.
Well, that's what this is all about.
Well, I'm telling you.
This is stronger.
I think this is fantastic.
Yeah. This is where it's going now, and I truly believe that any entrepreneur that wants to stay in business has to, reinvent themselves to
And
become.
a lot of people have.
Well, I see that.
You know, it's great. I think that actually the pandemic has brought on some things, especially in the arts world,
Yes.
that normally wouldn't have happened, and they might have been kind of a thought in the back of a person's head.
Yes.
But they didn't manifest themselves until it actually had to
Well,
happen.
to be honest with you, I have been thinking about writing books since I started the program. That's really what I wanted to do eventually.
Well, you're
But
here.
I was so busy.
Eventually's here.
Yeah, I know. But when you have 3 months off,
Right.
It actually made people, it actually forced people to do what they had to do.
yeah.
And in my opinion, a lot of it is a lot better than what they were thinking of doing before.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with that. Some things are not the same, and I mean, people are not always so happy about change.
No.
I personally like change. I think it's I think it's
Well, change is better than arrest, okay? Because I'm really getting to the point with this business that, I've been doing it for so long now. I need to,
was it
change
getting
it up.
stale? It was getting stale?
Yeah, change it up a little bit, but I didn't want to change the information.
No.
So I want the information, you want to get it to a broader, crowd, okay? So let's say that we can do this worldwide.
Wouldn't that be great?
And it's easier because you have Amazon, you have Costco. By the way, I'm going to try to go to Costco, see if I can get in with them. Amazon. Where's the other one? There's another. Anyway, there's all kinds of places that you can go where people can actually just order the book. So the book is $19.95, and it's you'll never be sorry that you purchased it.
Well, if you ever want to drop some off and you have any, you can
I
drop some
will.
off at Till, and we'll be happy to sell them.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, no,
Because
we'll
I
bring
think
them down.
I think everybody should support you.
Oh, I hope so.
Oh, I think they will. I think they will, because it's actually it's so important. People don't always know how to talk to their children properly anymore. There's so much information on the internet and from their friends, and this seems to me more grounded.
It's
approach.
very grounded, and,
Yeah,
and the way
yeah.
that the way that I did it is like I was telling a story to my children, okay? And I wouldn't have, I told it the way that I would like them to get the information and to understand what I'm saying.
So you told from a mother's perspective?
I certainly did.
Well, then there's nothing wrong with that.
And I made sure that it wouldn't scare them because I don't want my kids, at that time, I wouldn't want my children running around being scared because of this. But it is a safety tale.
Yeah.
So it's all about safety. And at the end, there's going to be a certificate that they can fill out, that they've completed it, and on the back they can put their fingerprints. The parents can, so you can save your Jay's bad day forever. And if, in fact, something happens to your child, you have a record of it.
Well, that's the other good thing.
Yes.
I wish they had this when I was little.
Yes?
I really wish that, because, I have, over the years, developed some unreasonable fears of unreasonable things, and I'm thinking that this might not have happened if I had had some guidance.
Yeah.
That might have been from hanging out with me when you
No,
were very little.
I don't think so. Well, it could have been. No, it could have been. You're right, but I don't think so. No, I have an unreasonable fear of birds.
Oh, dear.
So, I petrified of them.
Well, you have to face your fears.
No, I'm not very good at it.
But this book works because as I was illustrating them, my youngest child came over and he asked if he could read the book, and I said, yeah, sure, go ahead. And he laid on the couch and read that book from cover to cover and never stopped to ask questions or anything. He understood the whole thing, right? And that's a 13-year-old, right? So even the younger ones, they keep being taught this same thing over and over again. It's going to stick, right?
And that's what we want.
Yeah.
You want a community of well-rounded, well-informed, and confident and empowered children.
Yes.
Because they're the future.
But you want them safe.
So
too.
you want them to take these lessons, and you want them to take them to their children.
Yes.
And they will take them to their children.
I once said, I mentored with a gentleman from down the States, and he was so kind to me, and I used to say to him, how can I ever thank you so much for helping me? And he would never say, okay, because he was not that kind of a person. So finally he got sick of me asking him.
Yeah.
So he said to me, you know what? He said, the children will thank you.
There you go. Guess it all comes around, doesn't it, Lavonne?
Listen, we can all use a little bit of kindness in days like this.
I think we
right?
should all be kinder to each other.
Yeah.
I'm starting to sound like Ellen, but
No, you're
I
right.
think her message is right on the nose. I think there's so much anxiety already, and with kids especially. They go to school and they compete with each other, and there's no real good reason
But
for it.
that's not what life is about.
That's exactly right.
Like, I have got so much information, it's unbelievable. Because I had the interest, but I didn't want to put out there something that people couldn't understand.
Yeah.
So everything is very simple. And if you look at anything that I do, it's simple.
I think this is great.
Well, one of the stories that I really liked is when Jay decided that he was going to go with his best friend or a friend he had met that was really popular, okay? And instead of doing what he was supposed to do, let his mother know, he didn't do it. And he went anyway. So he went to the friend's place, and the friend had a trampoline. And he got on the trampoline, and of course he came down and hit his head and knocked himself out and ended up in the hospital. So that was a lesson that everybody should learn, because if nobody knows where you are,
Right.
how the heck are you going to get help?
That's right.
So you've got to tell somebody, whether it's a parent or somebody that you trust.
Yeah.
You know, and
What I
those are the
found-
things.
What I found with this book, as I was illustrating it, there's even lessons that we can learn
Of
from
course.
this children's book.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
Because it's all common sense.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that she put it together like that, you know, any kid's just going to stay interested in this. You know, it's one of
And
those
there's
things.
more. There's more.
Oh, I'm sure there are, and I'm sure there's many more illustrations to come.
There's more.
Many more words to come. It's going to
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to watching the journey.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it's great.
Well, it's a new journey for
I think you're gonna do great.
Mambeck, and
you're gonna do
you know, Gary certainly.
He's an asset.
He's part of the journey as long as he stays on.
Anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Come back anytime.
Oh, we will.
Talk all about whatever you want to talk about.
Oh my God, Becky, thank you so much.
You are so
Yes,
welcome.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure having you, actually.
Well, it's
And I
been
can't
a
wait.
pleasure.
Maybe sometime you'll come back and we'll talk about the graveyard.
Well,
That'd
you know
be
what?
great.
Listen,
I would love that.
Listen, I can tell some good stories.
Oh, that's what I want
I
you to
love
do.
to tell stories.
That's what you
Ask
wanna do.
Gary.
He is
I
a
have-
storyteller.
I like to tell stories.
Well, I'll tell you what. That could be a whole show.
It could be a whole show. Yeah.
So thank you again.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see where you go with this.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Stay tuned.